Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Toni and I'm the trauma doula. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about why you feel like you're not enough. This deep-seated issue that comes up over and over again, even if on the outside it looks like everything's fine. It seems like, you are living your life, things are going good. Maybe you've had some accomplishments. Maybe you've been able to create the career you want. Maybe you've been able to create the life you want on the outside, but on the inside, it just feels like not enough. And you continue to repeat this pattern of feeling like you don't deserve things because you feel like you are simply not enough as you are. We're going to be talking about a couple of reasons of why this is, and one or two things you can begin to do to unlock this deep-seated belief about not being enough. So one of the reasons why you might be feeling like you are not enough, even though the outside world may look at you like you are successful, like you have all the things that people would want, like everything is going right, but still somewhere deep inside you feel like you are just not enough as you are. You feel like you need to do something, get another degree, get a different job, get a raise, you feel like you always need to do something, to strive for something in order to feel like you are enough. And one of the reasons may be because of the attunement. Okay, that I love the word attunement. If you know anything about me, I love the word attunement. The attunement of your caregivers in early childhood. Something that's so interesting to me is when people are like, oh, they're young, the kids aren't going to remember these things going on. And you hear it all the time. Oh, your kids are young, they're not going to remember that. Children are developed and we start living from the scripts under the age of 7. So from 0 to 7, you are taking things in. You're taking in the nervous system of your caregivers, of your teachers, of your parents, and they are teaching you how to be. And from 7 on up, you are living out those inner beliefs and messages you got from under the age of 7. 0 to 7 is some of the most impactful years for your unconscious belief systems that possibly exist, okay? So when we say like there are things that you may not even fully remember or be conscious of affecting you now. One of the things is when you were younger, if you were often told that, you could have gotten an A+, but you got an A-. If you were told that you didn't clean your room right, if you were told you didn't, do your chores the way they needed to be done, and there was a right way to do everything, this often leads to a feeling like you're just not enough. This leads to a feeling like you're inadequate. And it's even worse if you have parents that do exactly what they want, exactly how they ask, and they still are not satisfied, and they still talk down to you and put you down and say, well, that wasn't good enough, right? And so a lot of this comes about because people have emotionally immature parent figures and adult figures in their life who haven't taken responsibility for their own emotions and their own well-being, and so they project that onto you. And so your inner child, it has received these messages that you need to be taking the temperature of the emotions of everyone in the room, and you need to play this little game of how can I fit into the box to make sure that you're happy, and how can I make myself smaller so that you don't put all of your projections on me. And a lot of the times you may feel about yourself how your parents feel about themselves. So sometimes it's not this direct emotional abuse, whereas it's more an indirect through osmosis, you have learned that your parents don't like themselves, so why should you like yourself? Or you've learned that, you know, your parent thinks they're ugly and everybody says you look just like them. Right? And it doesn't matter what they actually look like, because it's what they feel like. And they passed that feeling on to you, and then you took it as your own. And your inner child now believes that this is who they are. Because children can't see themselves. They can only really learn by that osmosis, that back and forth, that like, here you are, I see you, right? The thing that kids want most is to be seen. What do they say all the time? Watch me, as they do a karate chop or something. And so that, look at me, I'm here, I exist, it's very innocent. And when you have caregivers, teachers, parents who put you down or dismiss you or ignore your existence altogether because you're a kid and kids should be seen, not heard or something, I don't know. These ideas seep into the very being, into the essence of your being, and become what you believe about yourself. And a lot of times this comes out in the internal core belief that you are not enough. Another reason you might be feeling why you're not enough at this point in time in your life, if you know those reasons don't resonate, is that you're around a bunch of takers. If you're around takers, you won't be enough because they just want everything. And they want what you won't give them. And they want what you don't have. And they are just there to be takers. Some people, no matter what, they'll never be satisfied because they're not satisfied with themselves. And that's not your freaking problem. That's not your problem. And it's not your job to give them what they don't have themselves. That's not your job. But what I will say about takers is if you have porous boundaries, you will be a target. If you're kind, unfortunately, if you're around takers, they see kindness as weakness. They see kindness as something that you take from. They don't see kindness as something to be reciprocated, because not everyone is a good person. I used to believe that everyone was kind and loving deep down. Deep down. Maybe some stuff happened and it changed their perspective and now they're a mean grunt person or whatever. But deep down, you know, they're kind. And it took a lot of recognizing that not everyone is as good as I think people are. Even if I can see the good in people, that doesn't mean that they have good in them. I may just be projecting goodness onto people, rather kindness, right? So if that's the case, take a look around, take stock of the relationships that you're in, the people you surround yourself with, and ask yourself, am I around a bunch of takers? It's easy to be around takers. There's a lot of people that are takers. And recognize if there is reciprocity within the relationships that you find yourself. What is reciprocity? That is a give and take that is fluid. That's listening when someone speaks and not waiting to respond with something you have in your head that you're going to respond to, and they're talking and you're just like thinking about the thing that you're about to say. Are you really listening when you do that? The reciprocity is about holding space for the person in front of you as they are and having that happen back and forth, whether that's through conversation, whether that's through showing up, however it looks. And this doesn't mean, oh, if I do something for you, you do something for me. Like that's extractive. That's a whole different type of relationship. Reciprocity is fluid. It's sometimes I'm giving a little bit more, you need a little bit more. And sometimes you're giving a little bit more, I need a little bit more. And that's okay, because neither one of us feel taken advantage of, because we both give what we have and what we can and what we want to give, what we feel good about giving to each other. Whether it's time, attention, a conversation, a listening ear, resources. Maybe sometimes somebody got resources, but the other person has a listening ear. There's some reciprocity going on there. So if you're feeling like you're not enough, look around and see if you have people who are takers, who are making you feel guilty for not giving them what they don't have and what they wouldn't give you if they had it. Now, what are some ways that we can begin looking at taking back our energy and helping our inner child and ourselves reattune and understand that we are enough as we are. We're enough because we exist. We exist. That's enough. You don't have to do anything. You choose to do many things, but you don't have to do or be anything. Are you showing up for this thing because it is what someone told you that you needed to do to be enough in their eyes? And that's the crux of it. A lot of times we're showing up in ways that are externally motivated rather than internally guided. And because of that, there is a deep ache of not enoughness. Because that not enoughness is not about you. It's about everything that people told you you were. It's about everything that people are calling you to be that isn't your own internal calling. When you talk about, everybody's talking about manifestation and stuff like that. And for childhood trauma survivors, manifestation is different. Those things mean different things. And if you are not working on your internal core beliefs, your manifestations are going to be all out of whack, because they're going to be things that other people want for you and not what you want for yourself. And oftentimes, if you feel like you're not enough, you may also not really know what you want, because everything's been so external focused. It's been about what other people have been calling for you rather than what you call for yourself, because you haven't looked within to know what you actually want and to know who you actually are. And so with that being said, one of the best things that you can do for yourself as someone who feels like they're not enough is to go ahead and buy you a little journal. Go ahead and buy you a little journal, okay? You are gonna journal. You're gonna write those I am feelings. When you talk about yourself, how are you talking about yourself? What do you say about yourself? This is one of the simplest exercises that I give people. That, I work with clients every day, and on energy work and somatic work and this internal stuff. And one of the best things that I get people started on automatically is journal. But you're not just journal in a journal to rehash this thing that happened and that thing that happened and this interaction and that interaction. You can. But after that, I want you to get a load of what's in here. What do you say about yourself? Especially those I'm statements, those I am statements. What do you believe about yourself? Write it down. Put it on a piece of paper. And then from a non-judgmental perspective, and this is where a lot of people need help, because they can't help but judge themselves because everybody judged them. And you have learned to judge yourself as others have judged you and as you have judged others. So you cannot be afraid of what's in your own head. It's your head. It's your mind. You can't be afraid of what's on your mind, okay? Even if it is a little scary, you have to look at it straight on and say, this is what I think about myself. And sometimes the things you think about yourself hurt. It hurts. It's painful because you're beating yourself up internally all the time and you don't even realize it. And so as you write these things down, these I am statements that you believe about yourself, you're gonna, in a non-judgmental space, hey, where did I get this from? Who said that? Did somebody say it to me? Did a parent say it about themselves? Did a teacher say it about themselves? Did a teacher say it about me? The amount of teachers that I hear about calling kids stupid is absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. The amount of teachers I've heard saying this kid, they're not gonna make it, they're never gonna be anything. You're a teacher, you're supposed to be speaking life into these kids. So if it's a teacher, which a lot of people, it's teachers or parents or whoever, you have to know where it came from. And sometimes it's just things that you believe about yourself and it's unconscious, and maybe nobody said it directly, but maybe your mom or your dad said that they didn't like their thighs or something, and now you're like, well, I look like you, so I don't like me either. This is how this stuff is passed on. So write in your journal those I am statements, whatever they are, and then take them one by one. Where did I get that from? Why do I think that? Does it serve me? Is it helping me, or does it hurt? If it hurts, it's probably hurting you. That's where we listen to our body. That's where the body comes in. If it hurts, it's probably hurting you. You're probably hurting yourself in some way. Self-harm is mental, emotional as well. It's not just physical. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you have any questions about the exercise, or if you need a little more guidance about the exercise, ask me questions in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Peace.